Hi, everyone. Welcome to Faith Greater Than Fear. We have another great episode for you today where we're talking to some people who work internationally. They're currently stateside, but we're going to have a good time learning about their ministry and how things have looked during this strange period defined by COVID-19. So first, can I ask you two to introduce yourselves, tell us your names, and a little bit about where you work?
Okay, my name is Terry Ruff, and this is my wife, Amy, and we live in northern Ghana, West Africa, and we're doing DMM work there, disciple-making movements.
And creation of oral tools in partnership with Gilbert, Ghana Institute for Linguistics, Literacy, and Bible Translation. So we have a studio there with studio technicians.
So great to get a little bit of that context. And I know, like I said, you're stateside now, but what are you hearing about how Ghana looks during this time with COVID-19 going on? What have been the updates recently?
I think I read yesterday there was like a total of 16, almost 17,000 cases, but almost 13,000 were survived of the epidemic and pandemic, and then only about 112 deaths. I mean, so it's not as catastrophic there right now, but Ghana's country is about the size of the state of Oregon, so it's a small country, but they have been impacted.
Yeah, there's a lot of restrictions. The president there is playing it really safe, which I think it's probably added to cases being down, but he's got the borders closed at least through the end of July at this point. So we're waiting to hear when we can go back.
Right. So give us a little bit more specifics about what it is that you do. You mentioned disciple-making movements and the oral tools that you're also involved. Just give us a picture of what that work looks like for you when you are in Ghana.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've been in Ghana about 11 years, and from the very beginning, we've been working with Isaac, local person there from the tribe that we were targeting, from the Gonja tribe. And God had already prepared him and connected us with a very similar passion. And so we've been able to help more with tools and exposing him to the resources he needs to do the work. The first 6 years was, ups and downs, lots of challenges. But about 5 years ago, we met somebody in Burkina Faso. We were helping with the training there, and his name is Curtis Sargent, and he did training in China and was very successful at very simple tools to teach people, even people that can't read and write, which is the context we live in, how to be a disciple worth reproducing and to multiply disciples by knowing how to lead them to Christ, lead a group, a discipleship group. And so it's been very effective. The minute they came back from that training, things have taken off, and it's been a steady growth ever since. That was like in January of 2015 that it really took off.
Mm-hmm. About 2013, we had one of those major hurdles to cross. Isaac fell away from Christianity and Christ, and we were seeking the Lord in what was next and what we should do. We invested pretty much all of our energies and resources in that partnership and those that he had recruited as well and trained. And so we sought out Ghana Institute for Linguistics, Literacy, and Bible Translation, knowing of their organization and what they'd been doing, translating scriptures, and there's over 100 different languages in Ghana. And but seeing the need for oral tools, because in the village settings where we had been working, it's 70 to 80% oral learners. And so we went through a process of helping them digitize all of the things that they had on cassettes and all
So they
the
wouldn't
tools.
lose it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we started recording Old Testaments as they had been rolling them out, and formed a partnership with Jesus Film to get all the languages with the Jesus Film, and some with the Walking with Jesus tool that they have. And so we've, over the years through the DMM, then when that really kicked in 2015, we would then put all of the tools that we had on micro SD chips, because everyone has a cell phone with a memory chip slot. And so we just ramped that up at the studio, and we're able to resource a lot of people with the scriptures who'd never had the scriptures before, because they couldn't read and write in those languages.
Yeah, a lot of them, just to hear something in their own language, whether they're interested in Christianity or not, sit with a smile on their face because it's something they understand for the first time. So, yeah.
And a lot of, because it's a Muslim, in the north, predominantly Muslim peoples, they could ask for a copy of the scriptures, and they would say, so I can listen quietly. And so they wouldn't have the opposition at the beginning with investigating Christianity.
So it really serves a multi-purpose. The context needs that oral communication just so they can take it in. But it helps those who are Muslims, and it helps other people in other ways as well.
Right.
So going back to the movement, I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit. Can you give us a sense of kind of the rate of the growth there? We know we've heard some really powerful updates in the past months.
Well, I mean, like the first year, it was like 350 baptisms, which was just on way more than we'd ever thought possible. But every year it's doubled, tripled. So last year we had 5,617 baptisms. We had about 940 new groups, discipleship groups. And then this year, I think we had 1,700 baptisms through March. So we just got Isaac's April report. So as soon as we get it tabulated, we'll figure out if the COVID has slowed that down or not. And we really don't know. Isaac said that many of the groups are still meeting as normal, with some social distancing and things like that. But I've sort of lost my train of thought. But yeah, it's
so we have in all of the networks, and we're in Cote d'Ivoire and Nigeria, Zimbabwe, and Togo, Benin, Burkina Faso. I think that's all.
Guinea. Guinea.
Yeah. About 2,500 groups, and that represents over about 10 to 12,000.
No, it's more than that.
Okay.
So
a lot
if you combine it's about 6 people per group average. And so if you take that times the 2,500 groups, you get the attendance on and in their situation, they may meet once, or they may meet 2 or 3 nights, a week, because it's one of the only sources of encouragement for a lot of these people that are, suffering through just to survive, getting enough food each day to eat and survive malaria and all those other challenges that they have in the village setting. So our heart goes out to them.
I had to smile earlier. You said, I think that's all, after listing several different nations there, the movement has just kind of spread to, and that's so much.
Yeah.
But I'd like to learn more. In the past months, that we've been experiencing COVID-19, how has that impacted the movement and the work, the ministry in Ghana or outside of Ghana?
Well, before we left, there's 3 aspects. It's the studio, the permaculture center where we live, which is more of a development type thing, and then the DMMs, disciple making movements. We we set up bank accounts so that we could keep expense money going. Not we pay Moses and Isaac a small salary, but they oversee so much. But everybody else, there's no salaries; it's just expenses. Like when the guys go out, they take a motorbike. Well, then we provide the motorbike and petrol and food for the two guys. And COVID impacted that in that now they only allow one guy to go at a time on a bike instead of two. And we wanted two because of the mentoring that was taking place with the guy that was going along. We just got word the other day that the 7 segment leaders, which are over like a county-wide area in a 12 county, I think of it in terms of county. He calls it segments. And we had groups going in 7 segments. 2 was really developed well, and then we had made it up to 7 total, and then those 7 segment leaders had mentored now 7 more segment leaders. So now we just received a grant so that we can buy motorbikes for the remaining segments. So all of Gonjaland will, whether we're there or not. I mean, I hope I can be. Usually, I'm the one that buys the bikes and gets everything set up for them, but they can do that too if the borders remain closed.
So I think the things that it has affected is, number one, we're not able to be in the country. Number two,
we miss the people like crazy.
They are grasping the sustainability piece that we've been talking to them for several years, and it's becoming more and more necessary. So our three guiding principles is it simple, is it easily reproducible, and is it sustainable? And so with all of these groups, if all of them just one time a month give an offering as a group of like the equivalent of $2,
the whole group,
yeah,
because there's not much cash flow for them,
that they could sustain, what finances we're contributing,
their own bikes, their own food, their own, so travel to different countries and things like that we're right now helping them with. So we're, I think this is sort of a push a little bit more from the Lord to, hey, I mean, Terry and Amy might not be coming back. Depends on if this virus stops, So you guys got to get to where you can do this on your own. And they do it so much better than we could ever think about doing it. So,
and that's what they have wanted as well. I mean, we, from the very beginning, that was our intent to create something in partnership with Ghanaians in order to leave them with a ministry that they ran, that they were responsible for and in charge of. So it's just up the ante a little bit since COVID has come into play.
Yeah. What's really surprised me is, just the other day, Team Expansion, which is the organization that we report to, they said that they had a conference, and it was, of course, everything's online with Zoom nowadays, mm-hmm. and including that's how I correspond with the leaders over there. And they said, I said, can I have Isaac in the conference, because I don't, all the you don't have to get a passport for him or anything. And so the whole Team Expansion crew got to see and meet Isaac and Moses that they've been hearing about for the last 5 years. They got to meet them in person via Zoom, and that was fun. Mm-hmm. That was fun. So what I've been surprised about is how busy we've been since we've been back, because I've taken on 14 different Zoom coaching tasks with people from all over Africa. I mean, like 6 or 7 different countries, and that's a lot of fun. I just hope that it ends up with fruit for the Lord in disciple making movements. But then all those studio files, all those chapters that were digitized are now on the internet. So, I mean, many of only the segment leaders right now are accessing them because I help them with being able to get connected to the internet and tablets and things, so they can download chips, burn their own chips for people that they're working with. But it's working. It's given us time to do that. I could have never uploaded 10,000 files in Ghana in 10 years. But here, that literally is how many files that since we've been home since March 25th that I've uploaded into SoundCloud and put on our internet a link so they can go to whatever mother tongue language if they live in that area and listen to it or download it. So
yeah.
So that's
we have weekly meetings with the VMS, the studio guys, and then weekly meetings with the DMM leaders, and then with the Perm Center. So instead of a face-to-face, it's a Zoom, connection for
face-to-face that way, but it's not,
And we would typically meet with Isaac and Moses once a week, maybe for a couple days, it depends on, the training. So that's kind of hindered us from having that more deep discussions and more strategizing kinds of things right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it certainly sounds like the work has been able to continue because you've installed all those values, those skills in people that are there on the ground, still there in Ghana or elsewhere, but then also through media. So God is certainly still using those channels to keep things going.
Yeah.
Well,
since we've been here, we have begun a media to movements initiative in order to touch some of the cities in Ghana.
Right. So we're just starting on that one. So.
Well, it sounds like there's a lot of excitement still to come through your work and your ministry.
We're excited.
To kind of wrap up our time for today, what have been a couple personal takeaways that you've had during this time? What has God kind of been pressing on you or teaching you through this era? You've had to be away from ministry, going through COVID-19, but in what ways has He remained faithful, or what ways has He spoken to you?
To me, the phrase that keeps coming back to me is, I want this more than you. I mean, from God, I almost feel or hear Him saying that. And it's mostly because the way things happen is not it's not what I've strategized and put down as goals. It's more responding to the open doors that He's given us. And that continues. I mean, Isaac and Moses keep telling us time and time again, there are different open doors, and when they walk through them, God has pulled all the pieces together, the people together, to pull it off, and so that's what He's really emphasized. So don't invest all your energy worrying about things that God's got it. He's got it taken care of already.
For me, it's been, even if we can't be in country, that He still has stuff for us to do. And that's pretty exciting to me. We're not done yet.
No matter where you are, there's one of those open doors nearby that God has prepared.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I hope everybody at home hears that too. I hope everybody at home also has enjoyed this episode. I've certainly enjoyed talking to you, Terry and Amy. Thanks for your time today.
Thank you.
For all of you at home, if you enjoyed this episode, please share it. This is over 30 episodes that we've done now of Faith Greater Than Fear. We pray that blesses you. And we're saying goodbye now from Joplin, Missouri, also from Dayton, Ohio, I think is where Terry and Amy are right now. And we'll see you next time on Faith Greater Than Fear. Bye-bye.